Hi fellow YouTubers. So in this video, I was making my other video on advice for pre-meds, and it kind of made me want to make this video on why I decided to do pre-med and to become a doctor. I don't know, I've always wanted to be a doctor since I was little, but I feel like that was just because my parents told me to, honestly, and it was just that pressure of trying to do it. But eventually, I think when I really realized that I wanted to be a doctor was senior year of high school. I was just kind of saying that, oh, I'm gonna be a pre-med just for the heck of it, but I've never actually volunteered or anything like that. So junior and senior year, I really started volunteering at a hospice. And I couldn't do much though because I wasn't 18 yet, so I just did paperwork, but that was really fun and it was pretty cool. I don't know, it was But then after that where it really got interesting was when I volunteered at a free clinic in my local community. And I don't know, it was pretty cool. I really enjoyed it, and I remember I didn't get to do much either because I wasn't 18, but I remember that I was doing what my job was basically I would go over the doctor's notes and then I would put them into the computer for the patients and then keep them updated with their prescription orders and stuff. And so it was really cool to there was this whole system, I don't know what it was called, but it was just where they had codes and you would enter it in, and that would be something that the patient had was a certain code or something. I forgot what they were called, but it was really cool because I remember sometimes if I couldn't figure it out, you would have to look up something, and then it would tell you when you look up what it is, it would tell you all the details about that. I remember that's, to be honest, where I learned about hypertension and pre-hypertension, because I didn't know what those were before, which is really sad. But yeah, I don't know, I'm always a person who I like to help people because I've always loved volunteering just in general. I feel just because it was more of it was a normal thing in my family to volunteer and help people. I'm Buddhist, so we would always go every weekend to a Buddhist temple and help out there, and then I became really close in that community and always would help clean up and stuff and help all the ladies there. And so that kind of made me like to volunteer in general. And so I don't know, at that point I feel I was confused in my life before I figured out I wanted to be a doctor, because everyone knew that I was really big on volunteering, but people were telling me that oh, well, if you really like volunteering, maybe you don't want to be a doctor. Maybe you want to work for Peace Corps and just be a manager or something. And then I was do I want to be a manager? And I was I feel I always wanted to go to Doctors Without Borders kind of things, and I was do I really? What if I just went to Peace Corps? I don't know, I feel people were getting into my head, and this was my teacher told me this. But then on a side note, I feel I don't know if you guys have ever had this problem. I feel people will tell you those things just because of the fact that it's so known that a lot of people want to be doctors just because their parents want to. So it's kind of a weird reverse effect. They're telling me that because they think that I want to be a doctor because my parents just said so and I really don't want to be a doctor. But then that's I did want to be a doctor, but it's making me question do I really want to be a doctor kind of thing. I don't know, I have a really weird sense of thought. But anyways, yeah, so I was really confused. I was I don't really know, oh, maybe I could just be a humanities major and do that. I don't know. But it wasn't until, it's a really small thing that made me realize I wanted to be a doctor, but it wasn't until one day my friend, we were actually getting our meningitis shots for dorm move-in, because in Texas, I don't know if you guys have this wherever y'all are, but to live in university, you have to have your meningitis shots, because you're going to be exposed to all these people, and it's just cray-cray. But I remember we all got our meningitis shots, and a few of my friends were like talking about, oh, like I don't know where to get my meningitis shots. Like I've never gotten a shot before. I don't know, like where do we even go for this kind of thing? And they were really freaking out about it, and I was like, girl, I was like, just go to your pediatrician. Like she got the hookup. And I remember my friend like looked at me and she was like, I don't have a pediatrician. I've never been to a doctor before. And I just remember I was like so confused because I thought it was so weird. Like the area that I went to school in, I'm from Austin, Texas, but I'm kind of on the border between this town, and it was like a really small town. And so that town is kind of like in a poverty area. Like not really, but like it's not like fancy people. And so, you know, like a lot of them are like, yeah, I've never been to a doctor either. And I was like, what? Like, oh, well that's kind of sad. Like, I mean, I don't know, they always said that, you know, because insurance is so expensive and like just because it's so hard to get a doctor and it's so expensive and everything, that they've never been to a doctor before. And it really touched me because, you know, she's never been to a doctor, and I just felt like, and it was just because she didn't have the opportunity to. And so I remember while that happened, at the same time, we were also doing a project in our senior literature class, I think. It was like literature / government / history kind of thing. And it was about writing an essay on making a business or something like that, and why we would want to build that business and what would it be for, and like how would you go through with that. And so I remember, because I had volunteered at a free clinic, because the free clinic are for people in the Austin area, the one that I went to, they were for people in the Austin area that were under the poverty line. You know, they could come in and get free healthcare. So like that made me think of how I wanted to do that. Because at first it was a joke. Like I was like, oh, this is a great thing to write about, because so many people in this city, they don't have like healthcare, so a free clinic, I'll write that as my essay, and that'll be a really good essay. And then the more I started writing about it, the more I realized I really wanted to do that in that city, like in the future. And it did become my dream goal, was that I really want to open up a free clinic in that city that my school district is in and help those people, because there is the one in Austin, but it only consists of people in Austin. And like it kind of sucks, because basically that town is like, everybody that lives in that town, they go to Austin for like groceries and stuff. It's like, it's so close, it's really close, but they don't qualify because technically they're not in the city lines. So that just really affected me, and I don't know, I feel like after that I realized like I really do want to become a doctor so that I can do that, and I could actually work with people and help them get free healthcare. I mean, I know that that's kind of like a business side of things and humanities, but at the same time, like I do want to be hands-on helping people. But I've recently studied abroad and actually did clinical hours and stuff with Costa Rican healthcare program, and oh my god, it was the best thing ever, and I am so sure that I want to be a doctor. I used to want to do pediatrics, and I don't know, because I love babies. I don't know, but now I don't know what I want to do. It's kind of up in the air now. I feel like because you know, the whole point of studying abroad for that program, it was like we got exposed to many different kinds of professions, and so now I'm like confused. I'm thinking about either dermatology or pediatrics, maternity, or just like general care, or I don't really know, surgery. But I guess it's just like whatever I'm good at. But I've heard, someone's told me this before, they said you either know from the day you're born, or it's gonna change like 100 times, and that's so true. And like honestly, it just depends. Like I don't know if you guys know, but it depends on what you get placed in for your step. and stuff. I can explain that all if you guys don't know what it is, but I don't know. That's a whole nother topic. That's about med school. But yeah, that was basically just my little story on how I decided that I wanted to be a doctor. It was just because of my friend, and I don't know, it was kind of cool how like I figured that all, like my life dream and what I want it to be in the future. But I have that to thank for my friend. So I don't know, if you're still thinking about like, do you really want to become a doctor or not? I mean, you'll find out. That's why like I really recommend volunteering. It might take a while, but at least you'll find out. And I feel like, don't even worry about money or anything like that. I think it's just like, if you really like something, you can make a living out of it, you know? Because if you really like something, you're never working. You're just having fun. But it's cliche, but I'm a very cliche person. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed my little story. I hope that you guys figure out what you want to do. And I hope this helped you. Thank you. Bye.